Hi Mama, it's Katie. Welcome to this video to postpartum week 2. In this video we're going to be talking about what you are experiencing, what your body is going through, what to expect in week 2, as well as what is happening to your baby. Let's talk about Mama first. So in the second week postpartum, your body is continuously healing and adapting to not having the baby inside your body anymore. You will continue to bleed. This will be less and less with time, and maybe by the end of this week or by the end of week 3, you will not have any more vaginal discharge, but the bleeding should be smaller and less than it was in the first week, and potentially the color will be more pinkish or beige. So what is important, since this is only the second week, you have been going through a lot, a big change in your body, a big change in your hormonal balance, a big change with a newborn in your life, with sleeping or not sleeping, with feeding as well. So with prioritizing your baby above yourself. So please rest and try to recover. Rest when baby's resting, sleep when baby's sleeping. Spend a lot of time lying down and relaxing as much as possible. If you are breastfeeding, your breasts will continue to adapt to the breastfeeding process. At the beginning it can be quite painful, but within 2 or 3 weeks the pain will be smaller and smaller and then eventually will go away. A lifesaver for me when it comes to breastfeeding and my nipples and the soreness of the nipples were the silverettes. So I have them here. This is what a silverette looks like. So essentially it's a silver cup for your nipples, and you put it on your nipple in your bra, and then that produces a barrier between the nipple and any clothing that you have or with the bra, and they really help in the recovery process. So this is something that was recommended to me in the first birth and with the first child, and I didn't believe that it worked, but I soon was calling my neighbor to please bring me the silvers to try, because I tried different types of creams and nothing was really helping my sore nipples. And once I put these on, they miraculously started working. Within 2 hours I felt a massive relief. So I highly recommend these precious little silver nipple cups. You can also put a few drops of your breast milk into the cup itself and then put it on your nipple and hold it in place with the bra or a breastfeeding top, something that will just hold it in place, and that also helps in the healing process. So silverettes, I will link this product in the description box below. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but since it's such a life changer for so many mamas, I highly do recommend them. Because this is week 2 of the breastfeeding journey, if you are breastfeeding, then you will be producing more and more milk as the needs of your baby will be changing and growing. And because of this, you might also start leaking, especially if you will start feeding, let's say, on one side. The information that the baby wants milk and that your body should start producing milk goes to both breasts. So the baby will be feeding on one side and you might start leaking on the other side. This is a good sign though. It means that the milk production is going well. So that's great news. And to just not walk around in wet tops, then you can use some breastfeeding pads that you can put also into your bra. You might also start experiencing incontinence. This could happen if you cough or sneeze or suddenly laugh, and you might leak a little bit. You might pee a little bit. This is common in women that have given birth, that were pregnant and in this postpartum phase, but it doesn't have to be the case, and it should be worked on if this is happening to you. And you should be focusing on strengthening your pelvic floor muscles and doing Kegels. So we have been training Kegels in the prenatal workouts leading up to birth, but this is something that you should also continue postpartum. And it's also one of the exercises that I recommend in what exercises to slowly start with, which I'll also link in the description box below. So if this is happening to you, it's okay, but it's not normal. It shouldn't be the case that you should accept it. So please strengthen those pelvic floor muscles and do the Kegels daily, several times a day, and you will see that the simple exercise is very efficient, and soon you'll have a strong pelvic floor and coughing and sneezing will not create any leaking. Another thing that might be happening is emotional swings. So you might feel super happy that you have a newborn at one point in time, and then you might feel completely overwhelmed with all the changes in your life, with this little miracle creature that completely depends on you. So rest assured that these mood swings are normal. However, if you start going into the direction of being too overwhelmed, too sad, you don't want to get out of bed anymore, you don't want to take care of your baby, you don't look at them in a loving way and don't want to spend time with them, and this is starting to become a burden, then please talk to a healthcare provider. This could lead to postpartum depression, so please seek help if this is the case. What can help, however, with creating oxytocin in your body and releasing this happy hormone is bonding with your baby. And the best way to bond with your baby is to do skin on skin. So you can do that several times a day. You can spend the whole day in bed with them, just with your naked chest, and the baby would also be naked, just in a diaper, and they'll be feeding this time, and then they might fall asleep on you, and you might fall asleep with them. So this is all great because you're laying down, you are resting, you are sleeping, and you are bonding at the same time. So this is great for baby and great for mama. So give it a go, check it out. Let's have a chat now about baby, what is happening to baby in the second week of their life. So they are still sleeping a lot, around 16 hours a day, and they are still feeding a lot. This is all they really do right now: sleep, feed, pee, poo, and bond. So they will be feeding between 8 to 12 times a day. Cluster feeding is also something that can be happening, and cluster feeding means that your baby will want to nurse for longer periods of time. So not just drink from one breast and be satisfied, or one breast and the other breast and be satisfied, but they will then cry out again and want to continue and feed on the other side, and then cry again and feed on the other side. And this can go on sometimes for multiple hours in a row. So this is something that is normal, and baby is signaling to your body to start producing more milk because they are growing, and they will have higher milk demands and higher nutrition needs. You can observe your baby's diapers, whether they pee, whether they poop, and you can also weigh your baby. So upon exiting the hospital, your baby might have been weighed. At birth they are weighed, and then after 2 days they will be weighed again, and usually their birth weight drops. So let's say they're born at 3,500, and it's normal that the weight of the baby drops in the first days, and up to 10% is completely fine. But however, your baby should be feeding a lot and gaining strength back in the first weeks, and around by day 10, they should be back to their birth weight. So this is in the second week. So if they are around 10 days old and they're back at their birth weight, then this is great news. It means that they're gaining well weight and that they're feeding well and that everything is going fine. And there's one thing that is exciting that might be happening in the second week, is that your baby might start catching eye contact and holding eye contact. So this is something quite special. Previously they were probably just nodding off and not really focusing, and now they can maybe focus on your eyes. So that's one thing that they might be doing. Have a look if they are doing that. And another thing is that they might start to lift their head slightly. So that is all from me for the second week. Good luck. I wish you all the best. Join me in the videos with some exercises as well, and I will see you in week 3. Take care, Mama. Bye.